right, kids, we did it. I jumped out of there pretty fast. How you doing, Roy?
I'm doing good, my friend. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm all right, Fred. How you doing, buddy? Fred, you good? Okay. Fred says he's good. Yesterday I had to leave the show early. We had 300 folks in. Had to leave a little early. What'd I do? I sent over to Brian Lagunas. That's what we did.
Yep.
All right, let's figure out where we were and continue it here. Just a warning, I've got a whole bunch of blood burst effects here, including this incredibly grotesque sideways limb burst that I'm going to have shoot out of the NPC picture for when the creature takes a lot of damage. I've got some smoke appear effects here, just kind of getting those things ready for when that'll happen. Let's go. I'm going to shut down. I had Adobe Premiere running. I'm just going to shut it down just to give my machine a little more breathing room. And we were looking at a spell called Ice Storm.
Yes.
Roll the damage for it. I don't have a breakpoint on here. I'm not running from it.
That's right. We were working out how to collate the damage by type so that we could later decide how much of each type to apply to the target based on their resistances.
Yep, that is correct. That's what we're doing. So we find main window here. And let's go find latest damage. That's what we were calculating that here. And that calculation code in our initial test for Ice Storm worked. So that's where we left off yesterday. Let's bring up my notes, my checklist of where we want to go next. We got the damage. I think we might be at this point right here. Yeah. I think we might be at the roll d20 for each targeted creature. Which includes this. We need the saving throw modifier for each one. So we're going to have to roll a d20 in a kind of a unique way. Hey, look who's here. We zoomed in here fast. Came in, zoomed in, zoomed out. Jetsam.
Welcome, Jetsam.
Yeah, we don't miss you anymore. You're here, buddy.
No. You were missing you terribly, but now you're here. Things are good.
Everybody's like, where's Jetsam? When's he going to fly in? I said, keep waiting. He'll fly in any minute. I've been saying that for 14 weeks. And you did it, Jetsam. All right. So let's do this. We have to roll it in a kind of a unique way. We're going to have to do something like this. It's going to look like this. A D20. It's going to have a label in it. You know, the creature name. And it's going to have some sort of the modifier. I think.
Okay.
And you could almost argue that it should have advantage or not. Or disadvantage. So I'm thinking that it would look like this. So we would do... So to do a roll for several creatures, we would send out something that would look like this. Or maybe if they had advantage or disadvantage, it would be a 2d20. Like that. So this would be 2d20 for advantage. And the modifier in this case would be like a +3. This might be a -1. And then I might have a 1d20. Creature name. Like this.
So just to remind people, the normal purpose of advantage and disadvantage is throw an extra dice out, and in the case of advantage, you get to use the one that is better, whereas if it's disadvantage, you're forced to use the one that's worse. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is
Okay.
correct. Yeah, and it works out to about the difference of about 5 points mathematically, as I recall, which means rolling an advantage is like adding +5 to a regular d20 roll mathematically, and rolling a disadvantage is like subtracting 5 from it mathematically. That's what I understand, as I recall. So we're going to need to do something like this and be able to support that. That's going to be the next thing we got to do. So I guess first step is, let's figure out the creatures we have to send. Let's figure out their advantage or disadvantage if they have it. And then let's figure out what their modifier is as well for the save. Okay, that's what we're going to do next. Okay, so we've got calculate latest damage. That is called when the dice has stopped rolling. We need a queue of dice rolls. I think I've got right now support for a queue of 1 dice roll.
It's a short queue.
Yeah, it really is. It's something called next die roll. What is it? Next die roll type? Is it that? I'm not sure if that's it or not. Yeah, that might be it. But this is that's actually, I don't think it. Hold on a second. I want to look for wild magic check, because that's the one that I'm currently using as a kind of a queued die roll that happens on the C# side of things. I also have something happening on the TypeScript side of things as well. On the TypeScript side of things, there can be a situation where we roll more dice. That's if we get a nat 20 on an attack, then we double the damage.
Yeah.
I'm going to find this. I'm looking for something that says get the next one. Well, actually, that's going to come from... That actually is... I think we actually passed it. It just occurred to me. It doesn't actually happen in the code. That happens from our expressions with regards to a feature.
Okay.
So let me show you where that is, so you can kind of visualize what I'm remembering here. Where's Wild Magic? I thought I was going to see it near the end here. Wild Magic Surge, is that it? Where I'm hearing sounds over there, is that...
Yeah, we've got a temporary visitor. That's all right. That's done with now, hopefully.
Okay, no worries. On player cast spell, if spell level is greater than 1, in other words, it's not a cantrip, then in 2 seconds, activate the Check Wild Magic shortcut. That's what's happening here. So Check Wild Magic, that means it's going to immediately roll the dice, I think. That's what I think that's going to do. Activate shortcut.
presumably the shortcuts are also listed in their own sheet,
Yeah. So I think.
and therefore the necessity of rolling the dice will be tied to that particular shortcut.
Yeah, I'm wondering. Here, let's do this. Let's cast a spell for me because I've got it. We'll throw out something that is not a cantrip. That's a cantrip. Mage hand is cantrip. Lightning lure, cantrip. Silk touch, cantrip. Fireball. Shoot, I'm suggesting that a breakpoint will stop us here, but it won't because I'm not running from it yet. So twice now, I've noticed that the player data has been reset, and I've restored it from the, and I don't know why it's getting reset, but I restored it from the backup, the Dropbox backup of it using the version history, but it's dropping down to a very small size. So we'll have to look into that into the future. In the future, all right. Let's. Do I have a list of all my breakpoints? Oh, I do. Yeah, so we got the activate shortcuts. We'll try one more time. Initialize player data. All right, fireball. So, dice stop rolling. Okay, no worries there. We should get all of this data. Let's go set a breakpoint here, I think. Run all the way to there. Our latest damage should only be 1, and it's a fire 30. Perfect. Just double checking that code. And I wonder if our breakpoint stopped us from getting the other event.
That's an interesting one. Yeah.
Oh no, it came in, but what? Wait, why didn't I get the event? I don't understand that. Activate shortcut. I thought I had. It's here, so we're not getting activated from this. I thought for sure that would be the thing that would bring us in here.
I'm trying to think whether this is the client side or the server side of this. So if your activate shortcut, which is happening initially on your WPF client, but is going to then send a message to the TypeScript via the signal R to get the thing to sort of happen, then the follow-up action, the secondary thing, won't happen because it won't send that message until after you allow the code to go through.
Yeah, it may also be that I've got the breakpoint at the wrong spot. Here's where, this is where I think I need my breakpoint, right here. Yeah, this is kind of a reflection of not having a queue to solve the problem.
Yeah.
What I just have a single state waiting to clear dice, right? Do we have instant dice or not? So let's set the breakpoint here. Let's do it one more time. What can I do? Spider climb instead. Cast a spell. And there's the request. And oops, I think we went in here. Is where I think we went. Because EA had a delay of 2000, so it checked to see if the delay was 0, and if it did, it would activate it immediately. Otherwise, it's going to set it in 2 seconds. That's the breakpoint there. That's what we're looking at next. There we go. We got that breakpoint. Stopping it. What do we get? Shortcut to activate. Remove the dispatch timer. Now we're calling activate the shortcut. And it's going to go, I see what happens. So it just says here, what's the next roll? That's all set in here, that code. And then back out here, we call unleash the next roll. So we unleash it immediately.
Okay.
So that's kind of what's going on. We have a queue of 1. And we kind of need to change that. I am wary to change that.
Yeah.
Because of breaking code, worries about breaking code. AJ 2017 is there. He's out there. How you doing, AJ 2017? Shout out to you. All right, let's at least just know that. We'll keep that in mind as we continue to work in here. Let's go back to latest damage.
Deepwater, how you doing, man? You all right?
Is that too long, Rory?
It's interesting. As I watch that particular fanfare, I get the progressive need. I think, throw him a life preserver. No, wetsuit. Oh, hang on, diving. Hey, submarine, clearly. And it just gets more and more like intense what you might need to survive in these conditions.
You know what I want to do? I've been thinking about this. I haven't done this yet, but I've been thinking about creating that puppet for you. The two-dimensional Simpsons-style animated puppet that's in sync to what you say, so it lip syncs to you. But then we could have animations and effects for it as well. That we could, depending on what. So, for example, we could have one where you use scuba gear and a snorkel for when we get to Deepwater's place. I don't know, something
nice.
Something. How long can Mark hold his breath? I think not long. About a minute to 2 minutes, somewhere in that range before my brain is like, I'm in trouble, and I start breathing. Kim Tripp, if you know her, she's a database expert. She can hold her breath, I think, for 3 minutes plus. She's super impressive. She took a course in holding her breath, and she told me about it, and it was pretty amazing. She said when you start, everybody's like, nobody can do anything, and then by the end, everybody's doing like 3 minutes plus who's holding their breath. They teach you essentially free diving is what the course was then.
That's what put me in mind of it, actually. Yeah, you hear about these people doing the free diving, and for me, I can't imagine getting down that far, but they get down there and they fish and they do all kinds of things, and then they come back. It's like, wow, that is a skill.
Yeah. Okay, so now we got a slight problem in that we've got a wild magic roll that's going to come in 2 seconds after the attack runs. Right? We're going to want to trigger that. And we're going to trigger that. I've seen this happen before in the game. That will trigger even if we're waiting on another roll to finish.
Yeah.
So it's kind of buggy, that sequencing. We really kind of need to fix it. I think I'm going to add this as a separate entry in here. We're going to need to fix...
You kind of want to make the queue for that limited use case, and then use the queue later. Once you're happy that that's working, use it for this other case that we're talking about.
Yeah, create a die rolling queue.
Because I can see that there are circumstances where you want every member of the party to roll for whatever saving something, or everybody gets together and decides to do something, but yours has this extra side effect, or if there are any other side effects of one roll, and they can all start overlapping once you're dealing with multitude of people at once, or multitude of NPCs.
Yeah, it's also not only a die rolling queue, but it's also a die rolling / shortcut activation queue. So it's either die rolling or shortcut activation. That's what's going on there. So we're going to have to store kind of information on one of the two things. All right, let's build that. I guess we got to build that. So we'll close down because we got some classes to create here. What are we going to call this? An action queue entry? Like that. I think this might be an abstract class. That's what I think. I'm going to create a descendant from it. This is going to be called a shortcut queue entry. Yeah, Deepwater is here, Jetsam. Didn't you see it? A shortcut queue entry, and then we have a die roll queue entry. And that's kind of what I think we've got. Let's move these to separate files. All right, so we've got, there's our, right there. It's very subtle. Yeah, it's subtle. Now let's go back to where we were. Where were we? Somewhere near latest damage. Calculate the latest damage. Dice stopped rolling. So what's interesting, I thought when the dice stopped rolling, we activated the next roll in the queue. But we don't. We basically trigger it to go in 2 seconds based on this line right here, right?
Yeah.
So what we really want to do is add short. We're going to change activate shortcut in. We want to say add to queue.
Yes. Does that also suggest that the queue items would need to have any form of offset? Because if you just put that in a queue and you're checking the queue all the time, then there wouldn't necessarily be a delay.
Yeah, no, I think that you're right. And I was thinking about that. I'm not sure. I think though we have 2 events here. We have dice stop rolling and we have all dice destroyed. And between the time between the stopping of the rolling and all dice destroyed, this right here is where we want to unload the queue when all dice have been destroyed. Put the next roll out of the queue. So unleash the next queued roll. That's what I'm going to call this. Yeah, Deepwater says you barely even notice the water. So we're going to call that. This is going to need to be inside of a dispatch invoke call. Because this event is asynchronous coming down from TypeScript. It can happen anywhere. So I'm going to type in DI there. It gives me my dispatcher.invoke call. And now we need to have our action queues. So let's create this here. Our action queues. Action queue rather, sorry. I want to change this. I decided to GQ next action. Like that. And so now we're going to say, hey, if my action queue got why am I not getting any sense on this? I don't have. Oh, there it is. Got it this time. That count is greater than. Come on. 0. And we're going to say. What's going on? My templates aren't working here. I'm here inside this dispatcher invoke call? I think I am. All right, let's report that. Code rush issue.
We have had something like that before.
All right, I'm not sure if we've seen this before. We talked about it before, but the B template to create braces does not work inside a dispatcher invoke call. Down here, it works correctly. Up here, it does not. That is my my issue. Very simple. B template. Fail.
I wonder if it is just dispatcher invoker or whether it's any lambda.
Yeah, it's probably the lambda. We will call it that. I think you're right. Let's put that in the chat room. Okay. I think we have talked about that. Okay, so if the action queue count is greater than 0, we're going to say action queue.dequeue. Is that right? Pop? What is it? Oh, it's not a, it's a list. My bad. Hold on.
There we go, yeah.
Now we got a DQ down here. There it is. There's my DQ right there. And we're going to call this the action, and then we're going to send it over to execute action, maybe? All right. And now we're going to just check to see what it's descending from. Hey, if action is a, what do we call it? It's up at the top, die roll queue entry. Die roll, not up what it is. Die roll.
Action queue entry was the abstract version though. So you're right, yeah, that maybe it was a die roll queue entry.
Yeah, there it is right there. Okay, if that's the case, then we're going to say, we're going to do that. Otherwise, if action is a shortcut queue entry, we're going to say execute queued shortcut.
Yeah.
And this is going to be similar to the place we were before, where we were looking at the let's see, it's not an all dice destroyed. I think we stopped rolling. Is it close to here? I'm feeling it's not anymore. I've lost the lost track of the name of the. Oh, I know. Here, let's see if Coders can help me here. Not really what I was looking at right there. I didn't make a change to that code. Let's see. It's one of the timers.
It's almost like you want just a navigation form of the that same list.
It is, isn't it? Real time. Well, you know what? I can do this. I can just hit Visual Studio's Control Dash and jump all the way back here. All in here. So on this tab. Okay. Continue to go backwards. Here, I think it's, is it here? No, wait, it wasn't here. It was another place we stopped at between these two, as I recall. Maybe not. Let's keep going. Here, activate shortcut request. Working our way there. There it is, right there. Okay, that's where we are. So here we're calling activate shortcut. Okay, so I guess that's the thing I wanted to check is what's happening here. I find the shortcut to activate, and we call it, and then we unleash the roll. What's interesting is we are not, if it's not, we're only unleashing the roll if the delay is greater than 0, which is kind of interesting. It's kind of not my favorite way of reusing the same method. It has two different behaviors, right? One that activates the shortcut and the other one that activates it and then unleashes the roll. So basically this is the code that we want to have in here, something like that. Shortcut to activate, activate shortcut. Yeah, we're going to get the shortcut called activate shortcut and then unleash the next roll. That's what I think we're going to do. Okay. Here we go, back over here. So let's do this one first. I'm hearing like mic sounds coming from over there, I think. There you go. I don't know if you muted yourself or not. I'm going to go
temporarily.
I'm going to go into shortcut queue and entry, and I'm going to create a new property here called shortcut name. Like that. Do I have something called get shortcut? Get action shortcut? Looking for a tag. That's not what I want. I do have the activate shortcut. I do have activate shortcut that just takes a string, which I think I'm going to maybe do.
That's what the next call is, isn't it?
Oh, it might be. I just want to look at this code for a second. Action shortcuts are active player ID. Okay, we need to store the player ID here as well. Oops. Come on, AI. Where is it? There it is. Player ID. Because if the player is not active, we need to make that if active player ID is not equal to player ID. Can I set this? Does this have side effects to switch to tab? It does. Cool. So we're gonna switch the player ID because that's important, right? So imagine this, right? We set up an active, we set up wild magic roll for me as soon as the dice are destroyed. Meanwhile, the dungeon master or somebody else switches the active player to another player.
Yeah. Right?
That's what's going on. The other thing is we need, in addition to the queue, we need to go check to see if we're trying to roll dice and we've already got something queued up. If we have something, if that happens, we should unleash the queue. I think. I don't know. I'm actually mixed on that. I have mixed feelings on this. Execute queued shortcut, and then I think maybe we do one more thing here and say if this dot roll immediately. Like that. and do that. So we'll declare that. That's our shortcut queue. That feels good. We're not creating it anymore. We don't have anything to create it. We essentially need to change this code right here to be add shortcut to queue. Add to queue, add shortcut to queue.
Yes.
Add shortcut to queue. Check wild magic. And I think it's going to say true. True is going to be roll immediately. Okay? That's what we're going to do. So we need to declare that. So let's go down into our functions. And shortcut to queue. It's got two parameters. It's got the shortcut name. That's a required parameter. Yeah, the only thing we haven't done yet, we don't have anything that just checks to see is there anything in the queue, like a timer.
Yeah.
I think we might need a timer. The reason why is because this code that we're looking at might be executed after a roll is already completed. That code right there. And so if that's the case, we need like a timer, like maybe every 2 seconds to check the queue.
Mm-hmm.
It's rare that this would ever happen. That's why I'm saying 2 seconds. That's kind of what I want to do. Okay. All right, back
So
over
the two types of queue item at the moment, one's a shortcut item and the other was a roll the dice item. When you roll the dice, there's the hypothetical that you're going to roll for everybody, i.e. for all the monsters and you know, a sequence of stuff. Would you expect those rolls to be simultaneous, or would they be multi-items sort of separately? So, because what I'm thinking is, as you process the queue, I imagine that you'll pick an item off the queue, you'll do it, you'll wait for it to finish, then you'll pick the next item, right? So you're just picking singular things. So in that case, the dice item, wherein that scenario happens, you want one item that is multiple sets of dice.
Yes.
And I'm curious, does the same thing, is it in any case appropriate to have multiple simultaneous shortcuts in the same way as you could have multiple simultaneous dice rolls?
I'm going to say no. Shortcuts are very specific. They set up options that are kind of globally shared options. Like here's your threshold, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's cool.
But with that said, well, yeah, I think, let me show you my stream deck a second. So the Dungeon Master has the ability to set hidden thresholds for skill checks, saving throws, and enemy ACs. The enemy armor class, what it's going to take to hit that enemy.
Yeah.
I am pretty sure we're going to need these here. Each one of these. Saving throw. Threshold. I'll set it to -1. Attack threshold. And a skill check threshold. So I'll set them to -1. If anybody sets them to anything different, that means when it's this die roll's turn, it's going to change those.
Mhm.
Okay? That's okay. That's actually, I think, going to be useful to do that because, you know, in the moment we may know what it is, but if we're queued up, you know, we may lose it due to somebody else making a change, including the DM could make a change. Okay. Let's go back to where we were. Okay. So the second parameter here is roll immediately. Okay, that's optional. Okay, so we've got those two parameters. Let's go calling it add shortcut to queue. Is that what we called it here? Add shortcut to queue. That's what we have right there. Let's move this to its own class. To the action queue. All right. Next, we're looking for 1 or 2 parameters. This is going to be the shortcut name. If args.count is greater than 1, then we're going to get args1. We're going to say going to do this right here. I want to create a new boolean. This is going to be roll immediately, and that's going to set to false. And then down here we're going to come in and say roll immediately is going to be equal to expressions dot get bool. And get the bool out of here. I need to pass in the rest of these, probably not, but maybe just in case I'll do it. It could be that we have an expression that needs or requires some of these. Do I not have my custom data up here? Interesting. Okay, so roll immediately is now set there. Then we're going to come down here. We're going to go to I'm trying to think of how we get it because we're basically low level. We need to jump up to the higher level. Is what we need to do. So I think we're going to add a method in player and we'll kind of bump it up from there. So we're going to say player or add an event and we'll bump it up. So we're going to player dot add shortcut to queue. And we're going to say shortcut name roll immediately. Let's go declare that. I think I'm going to bump it immediately up into game. Is what I'm going to do. So we'll start there. And now here, I want to create an event. Let's first grab those. Let's create our event args for it. So CEA. Class it's an event args. We're going to call this the queue shortcut event args. We'll paste these in. I'm use code rush to declare property with initializer. I think I've got a actually shortcut for this. Is it 3? Num 3? Looks like it is. Okay. So there's my queue shortcut event args. Let's move this to its own file. Queue shortcut event args. Where are we located in space and time? D&D core, space and time. There. Let's move it up to my events. Event args. Go to my delegates. All right, so now we've got my queue shortcut event handler. That's going to take that data coming in. Come back over to my game. Create the event. We call this request queue shortcut. All right, let's use code rush to create event trigger.
Mm-hmm.
Good, and then down here, we're going to trigger it. I feel like Twitter should just know what I'm doing and just do it for me here. I'm not exactly sure how to spec this out yet.
You almost want to set all properties of new instanced object to defaults, and that's sort of your base version. At that point, you're into trying to guess whether the parameters that are available in some way match said properties. So maybe do assignments on the basis of same.
I haven't quite figured it out, Rory. I'll tell you, I'm thinking about it, but I haven't figured it out yet. On request queue shortcut is there. We need one other piece of information that we didn't have here. We need to pass in one more parameter here.
Didn't we say we needed the player?
That's exactly what I'm doing. So this is going to be the player coming in, and now I think I'm sending the player instead of this to the game. Or alternatively, let's do this maybe. Let's go and we'll stay with game. Let's do this though. We'll come in here and we're going to do this, add parameter player, player. And then we're going to use code rush to declare property with initializer. Okay. All right, so that's what that looks like. There's our request shortcut queue right there. Call on request queue shortcut. The last thing we have to do is hook the event. Right now, we're not hooking this anywhere. Let's go. And so what we're doing is we're bubbling up from low-level DLLs up to the high-level UI. That's why I'm using the events here to communicate this. So now we're going to do something like this. Game dot request queue shortcut. I'm going to do that. And do we have, are we ever unhooking it is my question. Okay. It looks like we're not ever unhooking it. So hook game condenses occurs once, and because the app is up the whole time, we never close it down. We never get rid of this. Okay, so game request queue shortcut is here. And this is where we need to create a new, what is it, queued, action queue entry, action shortcut, die roll. It's a shortcut queue entry, isn't it? Shortcut queue entry. new one of those. And we're going to say player ID is equal to ea.player.id. Someone's in trouble over there nearby you.
Yeah.
Someone broke the lock. Roll immediately is equal to ea.roll immediately. And shortcut name is equal to ea shortcut name.
It's just that same pattern you were mentioning before.
Wait, what's the
It's interesting. You have, especially with the EA sort of types, you have instancing a new one and then immediately allocating things from some variable that's locally-ish available. And you've done it a number of times, but there's subtleties about it, subtle differences that make it not obvious how to automate the process.
Trying to figure out how we can get machine learning in here, solve this problem. I don't know. It's definitely kind of next level stuff. I'm thinking about it, but I don't know. I haven't thought about it enough to have a strong answer, and maybe it'll take more thought. Okay, so we're going to create all of those. There's the entry. Then we want to say, what is it called? Action queue.
Action queue entries within the action queue. Yeah.
And we're going to enqueue that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the last thing we need to do is we need to get we need a timer on this. So I'll just create a new one of these. I'll just create a whole bunch of these. Action queue timer. And we're going to have this one be check action queue. And down here, we're going to make this be from seconds. It's going to be 2 seconds. So let's use CodeRush to declare this. Check action queue is there. And I think it's going to be DQ. Don't I have that? What is it? I thought I just wrote it. Well, let's go find the action queue. DQ'd next action. It should be DQ next action.
Yeah.
That's what we want to call. I think I can move this line up here, right to there. I think I'm going to do that.
Yeah, because the queue itself is non-UI. It's absolutely checkable in any thread, in theory.
So for 0, I'm just going to get out of here, like that. Otherwise, we're going to do this.
More optimal, you can go, is it action queue.any? Can you do an any? Because theoretically, in order to get the count, you have to count every single one of the items, where you only care if there's just even the first one.
Thank you. All right, excellent. Execute queued die roll. You know, Roy, it's interesting.
That should be a not any, though.
Yeah, you're right. I thought about, it's interesting. I did not think about that when I thought about any, but you're absolutely right. It should be much faster, right?
I mean, assuming the possibility of thousands of items, which, okay, is an excessive thing for us here. But generally speaking, yes. When you're looking at a list and you say count equals 0 or not equal to 0, it is only that first threshold of 1 that proves the thing wrong.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, though. That would also infer you could do a compiler optimization here to turn this into, my item, whatever it is, right? My obj.count, right?
That's pretty reasonable, yeah.
You could have a compiler optimization that turned that into an any call if it doesn't already exist. All right, so we've got execute shortcut. That should continue to work. We're going to test that and see if that works. Okay, so we got a to do here. Implement this. I think we're going to run and check the wild magic. See if wild magic is still working. So that means we're going to set a breakpoint here. We're going to go over to here, set a breakpoint here. Is that enough? I think that might be enough. Yeah. Feels good. Okay, see what happens. Initialize player data. Got good music coming in here for the. Crank it up here.
Tail-end code is raiding.
Oh, hey kids, didn't see you there. Just
Welcome
to the music.
Mark Dances.
We got breakpoints set, kids. We initialized the data. We're about to test what we just wrote, man. That's what we're doing over here. Welcome, Tail-end code. Thanks for the raid. Boom. Okay, here we go. Let me get that music down a little bit. Let's get some professionalism in here, Rory. We got people checking us out. All right.
Sure.
What am I doing? I'm going to cast Fireball. We write Dungeons and Dragons code here. Code to implement the Dungeons and Dragons engine. Code to implement special effects. All of that. If you don't know, it's all for another stream that I do out here called Dragon Humpers. And Chicken Man says love the energy.
He's not seen energy yet.
You haven't seen energy yet, Chicken Man.
You've not seen energy yet.
Okay, we're checking breakpoints, kids. Let's do it. Did I cast Fireball yet? Let's roll it. Here comes Fireball. All right. So I've cast the spell. We're expecting to get some breakpoints here. We've got over here in Google Sheets, I've got this line of code here written in an event column that says, hey, if I cast something over level 1 as a spell, we're going to call add shortcut to queue. That should give us, we should be at a breakpoint now. Oh, we're not? Why are we not? Why didn't we get in here? Oh, wait, we did. Oh. The event was on player cast spell. So I guess it was the wrap up. We just cast the spell. So we've done that now. So we're in here now. All right, cool. Glad we get the breakpoint. Expecting arguments. So this is how we create. This is the syntax. We create a class to be able to create a method down here for our expression evaluator. So in order to support this method, add shortcut to queue, I create this. This right here is for our IntelliSense that we have running. So we've got a script editor, and and so it just tells us what the parameters are, gives us some tooltips for it, that sort of thing. I know this might be a little mind-blowing. You might be like, wait, what? To get a method, you write a class? But it's okay. It's a simple class. It's just got an evaluate here, has a name up here, and it just goes through, checks out the args, and does the things it needs to do. That's all. It's just a way of organizing all the different methods and functions that we are adding here to our expression evaluator. So the shortcut name is check wild magic. Roll immediately is going to come in, and now it's been evaluated to true. So it's just basically gone in and it's taken these two parameters here, that, and turned them into strings and booleans. We have those now. We just wrote this code seconds ago, and now we're going to call add shortcut to queue. So I'm going to clear that breakpoint. We're good here. Coming down in here, we're going to pass it off to the game. So we're coming in through the player. The player who casts the spell is now is making the call. The call's made on player, but now we're going to pass it to game, passing in this player right here, along with the shortcut name and whether we roll immediately or not. We're jumping in here. Create a new queued shortcut event args. We just created this class as well. Jump inside here. This is our event triggering. Now we're up in the main window. So we've gone from the low-level DLLs, right, the D&D core class, which knows nothing about UI, and we've bubbled up an event all the way up out here to the main window XAML. And so now it says, hey, we've requested to queue an entry, shortcut entry. So we're going to come in here. We're going to create a new one. We created this class just moments ago. This class is just, it's like a DTO. It's just got the shortcut name, the player ID, and whether we roll immediately or not. And what that means is invoking a shortcut says, okay, it's like choosing you want to do something. Roll immediately means right after you've chosen it, we roll the dice. So that's what's happening with that. We're setting those values, and we're enqueuing it in the action queue. I have a DQ on here. I need a breakpoint here, maybe. Well, I could go in here. Well, I've got a breakpoint there. I'll get to here, I think. Okay, there we go. All right, so we've added it, and now we're dequeuing it because the dice have stopped rolling or because a certain number of time has passed and nothing else is happening. Prats. Hello, Prats. I see your dam out there. Damn.
I think that was in response to your dancing.
Taylor and Code's professionalism. Maybe we came to the wrong place.
Harsh.
Sorry, Taylor and Code. You're right. You came to the wrong place. This is not where you're going to get that. It's never been the case. Okay, so we're going to check to see. This code right here is just making sure that the right player is activated. Then we're going to activate the shortcut. Then if we're going to roll immediately, yes, unleash the next roll. Is it going to roll? Sweet. All right.
It still works.
Oh no, we rolled a 1.
Oh dear.
That's bad news, kids. That means wild magic. Yeah. That's it. Got a show tonight, by the way. We're doing Dragon Humpers tonight, kids. So scroll back up, find that DH, or here, I'll give it to you again one more time. If you're not following us over here at Dragon Humpers, do so. You might like it if you like Dungeons and Dragons and if you like, a little bit of crazy.
Not quite as family friendly as this show.
That's true. Yeah, you may not want to,
Not quite.
if you don't want kids to hear, bad words. I might say a bad word on there, but I don't say them here. All right, so good. That's really great news.
So we refactored the code to work better, and we didn't break anything, at least as far as we can tell.
That's what I like. I like it. Let me do this. Let's disable our breakpoints. I want to cast one more spell. We'll throw a Chaos Bolt out here. We'll roll it. And I just want to test to make sure. Damage bonus. So this is an example of the TypeScript secondary roll queue going. Right? Because it needs an immediate double the damage roll. Now, when this goes away, let's see, I'll clear the dice now. We should go and queue that wild magic. Is it happening? It's not that. Oh, no, it is. Okay, this took a second. All right, I'm okay with that. A 1 again. Oh, my God. I'm sorry, kids.
Well, that's pretty easy to calculate.
All right.
That's the nature of random numbers. Sometimes they happen randomly in suspiciously unrandom ways.
That's right. That's right. And it's the human brain that goes in and identifies those as noise. I mean, it turns those noise into signal and says, what's going on? All right, good. Let's go to our checklist. We just apparently seem to successfully create a die rolling / shortcut activation queue. Well, we did the shortcut activation. We have not done the die rolling part. That's what we're going to do next. So we're kind of partially here. I'll put a little dot here to indicate we're kind of there. We need to get the die rolling part next. This is all, if you look up here, it's all in this bigger part of this desire to get saving throws integrated into the engine. So if I cast a spell that requires a saving throw, and a lot of spells require saving throws, a saving throw means that the other player rolls the dice and see if they get above a number, and if they do, then they get less damage. And it's to, for example, I might cast a fireball, and that requires everybody to jump out of the way. And so that requires a dexterity saving throw. So we need to basically set that up. That's what we need to do. And we need to set up, this is the next thing we're going to do, the die rolling part of this queue. So we're going to be able to roll dice. The last one, the piece we just did was shortcut activation, which can also roll dice. But this is a very specific one where we're going to add the specific dice roll to it. We're going to say, put these D20s in. And I put down as my syntax for this, something that looks like this. So like 2d20 and then the name of the creature associated with the d20. The -1 is going to be the modifier for it. So normally that would be 0, but the creature, the monster might have a modifier on this particular saving throw that they would add to that roll. And then the third parameter is whether they have advantage or disadvantage. And so in this way here, I could stack up, I could target 3 different creatures, stacking up 5 different d20 rolls, individually track each one, remove each, the disadvantage or the advantage die, and then come back and report those results back up. And I'm using SignalR to communicate down with TypeScript. So that's kind of the hope, right? I actually think we might get into problems implementing this, because I think our low-level engine is going to be like, what? You need more work down here, Mark, to support this. Because we have never rolled die like this before, but we're going to need to for the saving throws. Timer every 2 seconds, check the queue. We did do that, so that part is good. All right, so now let's do this part. Let's create the second part of it. All right. So we need to kind of get back to where we were. Let's see if we get any assistance here. All dice destroyed. Yeah, I'm going to trigger it on all. Yeah, well, I've got the DQ there. So, but I got to put it in. I got to put it in when we get the results back. So we've got an event in here called dice stopped rolling. We call calculate latest damage. And this is where we need to actually add the entry to the queue here. Okay. And I think I'm going to do it right about here. So if the stop rolling data type is equal to, if it's equal to a saving throw, there's no question of success or not, just if it's a saving throw, that's what we need to do. We need to do something here.
Yeah.
Oh, I made changes while we're running. Is that what I did? Okay. Set a breakpoint up here. This is bad time. I keep telling you, Pudding, bad time. I'm trying to do the show, Pudding. Come on, Pudding.
Hey, Pudding. How's it going?
It's always a good time, says Pudding. Always a good time for Pudding. Okay. All right. I think I'm just going to cast something. Tidal Wave. That requires saving throw. Coding Gorilla's out there. You haven't seen Coding Gorilla's fanfare.
He looked.
Oh, he came in.
He hid on the way in, yeah.
He came in secretly? Okay, gotcha. All right. So we got a no here. Down here, though. Whoa. Damage only. Oh, because it is damage only. It's not a saving throw. But it's... Okay, hold on. I need to know... I need to know more. Is it a spell? So let's say we get to here. Is there a spell? There's a spell name. Notice success is true no matter what, I think, on these spells. Okay, I got the individual rolls, I got the latest damage. Okay, so here's what we're going to use here. We have latest damage. We have the spell name. We need to work with that first. Whoops. That. Sea film's out there.
AC films.
Projects, I think going pretty good.
It's going alright, yeah.
It's like, if this is crappy, we're like up here. We kind of do this. We're like, like that. And if it's, you know, excellent is up here. Every once in a while we get kind of a little bit up there. That's how our project's going. It's kind of been that way for about 2 years. We've been kind of just hovering between crappy and excellent.
We are not failing.
I think that's the story of my life, actually, my whole life. Every once in a while, with a lot of effort, I can get just nudgingly close. I can nudge it right up to excellent. Okay, is null or white space the spell name? So if we got a spell name, then we can go try to get the spell. Then if we get the spell, we can check to see what kind of spell are you? Are you damage? Are you... Well, if we got damage only in a spell, I think almost always it's got a saving throw, but I think the spell is going to tell us that. So we're going to say, let's get it. So we're going to say all spells dot, no, not spell, all spells dot get spell name. We don't need to tell it what spell slot level it's cast at and what the spellcaster level is. We don't need those things to find out just the data, you know, whether or not it needs saving throws.
Okay.
Let me trim myself to hit the other key. There we go. So we're going to call this the spell. We're going to come down to here and we're going to say, hey, if the spell is not null, then we're going to come down in here. So let's get to here. Let's hit the breakpoint, run to there. All right. It's the robot, C-Films. Yeah, there's questions about whether C-Films is a robot or not because C-Films talks remarkably like a robot. Look at it. Talking like a bot over there. How am I a robot if you saw me streaming on Twitch the other day? Well, okay, that's maybe remarkably like a human. Okay, so now we got a non-null on the spell. Let's go into the spell. What is it? It's spell type, I think. Saving throw spell. That's what we're looking for right there. So spell is not null and spell type equals spell type dot saving throw spell. Right, then we're in. Then it's rock and roll right here. We go here. Now we're there. Okay. Now we know we need to do a roll a saving throw. So now we're going to say roll saving throw. What's this doing? What's this function doing? Oh, interesting. That's for the players. Okay. Not what I want. Roll saving. No, not roll. It's going to be in queue. In queue saving throw. This is where we're going to use our queue. And I think we're going to say spell.name. I'll throw the spell name at it. We want to throw, well, latest damage is a field, so we can get that locally. We can get that from the method. Anything else? I think that's it. And our targets we can get as well. Oh, okay, yeah, let's declare it. I've been thinking about a what if idea. Cool. I like those. Those are my favorite. I think you were an animatronic puppet. Oh, yeah. Okay, in queue saving throw. So we'll set a breakpoint here, jump down to this place. We want a new die roll queue entry. And then we're going to say action queue dot in queue die roll at the end. That's what we're going to do here. And between the two of these, we're going to figure this whole thing out. This is the spell name coming in here. It is what would a programming coding language look like if it was designed by me?
Good question.
I have stuff to say about that. I would design a language that would not require a lot of shift keys, especially for things you do all the time.
Indeed.
Oh, wow. I can't rename it because I stepped into this method. Let's turn this to here. That's the spell name though. I almost feel like we should rename this NQ saving throw to maybe NQ spell saving throw. I'm not sure what I want to do with spell name yet. We need to go through all the targets. I've got out here something called all in-game creatures dot creatures. We're going to do a for each through all the in-game creatures. And we're going to say if in-game creature dot is targeted, then we need to hold on. I'm going to create a descendant of this. Call this a saving throw. Spell saving throw Q entry. Like that. I'll throw a name as the parameter here. All right, spell saving throw Q entry is there. Oh shoot, I can't remove it. I forgot I can't move type to file. I'm doing it and continue. Keep it here for now. All right, there we're creating the new piece. There's the spell name. If we're targeted, then I want to say add saving throw for. And I'm going to pass in the in-game creature. That's what I want to do.
Okay.
Okay. I think the die roll Q entry is going to have also a die stir. That's going to be the string of what the die roll represent what the die is going to be. That's going to look maybe something similar to this right here. Maybe I'll do semicolons between them like this. Okay. Uh-oh, hold on. Got a problem here. That's edit and continue. I'm trying to keep everything going under edit and continue here. Okay, so I don't think I have any creatures targeted. So we need to actually keep track of that as well. Roy's here. Do you want to hear more? Yes, we want to hear more.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, so we're going to say found any down here. And down here, we're going to set to true. And then we're going to say, hey, if we found any, then we're going to EQ it. Test wave. Did the test wave work? I'm not sure because no, probably not.
It did work.
Oh,
yes.
Did. Okay, cool.
Yes.
That's awesome. So I think we're gonna end up getting out of here. Yeah, we didn't find any. No, nobody's targeting. Let's try it again. This time we're going to target some creatures here. So let's target our enemies. So we've got the Frost Spectre and the Kashmir Frost Giant both selected for the targeting. Thunderstep, does that involve a saving throw? Constitution saving throw. Okay. Gotcha. Variables, conditionals, loops, and functions, so C films. Okay, we're at the breakpoint. All right, we're good here. That code's working. Now we've got a targeted creature. So now we're going to call add saving throw 4. I think we also need to say action Q dot saving. No, sorry, not action Q. Die roll dot saving throw threshold is equal to the caster's spell save. So do I have that? I may want to jump out of that and continue here in a second because I don't know if do I have the. I want to see if I have the spellcaster's player ID. I do. All right, let's do this. Into spell saving throw. I'm going to stay in edit and continue. Like that. Let's declare this. Let's copy that. Let's put the caret down here. What's my edit problem? Updating an active statement. I'm killing it. We'll start it up again. We'll do it again. Let's try my active statement was there. Oh, add it. Okay. Get rid of this. Okay, so the saving throw threshold, player ID. So if it's a spell, the player will get the active player. Got a lot of showers today.
Copperbeardy is in the house.
Copperbeardy.
Welcome, Copperbeardy. How are you?
Okay, let me train myself. Okay, we're going to call this the spellcaster. Like that. If we got the spellcaster, we can continue down here. Not too bad. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope so too. The saving throw threshold is now we need to get the spellcaster, the saving throw DC. What is it? DC, get spell save DC. What's the difference between these two? There we go, one just calls the other. All right, we're gonna say that. That's now the saving throw threshold. So for me, I think the number's 15. That means they gotta roll higher than a 15 to get it. This is gonna be not null. I spied you, Lassamat. Check out Copperbeardy stream kits as well. Check out C Films stream as well. All right, so let's see. Live saving throw threshold is there. I need to, in the die roll, do we have a player ID? I think we added action. Let's go into action, queued action. Whoops. I got a player ID here, and I just realized I need one on the other side. So I'm going to throw it up into here, move it up here.
The base class instead, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. Okay, so now we got player ID there. Go back to where we were. Okay, so player ID. This is actually the spellcaster ID. Yeah, I'm okay with this staying here. This is going to just ensure that their tab is selected when the die roll comes out.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I think all that's good. We just now need to figure out the saving throw part here, and we need to know. Oh, there's one more thing we need. We need to know what we're saving, what kind of ability check we're saving on, right? We need to know that. That I think is in spell as well. Let's see what we can find here. Ability, saving throw ability. That's what we want. Do you hear that sound on the speaker, Rory, at all? Coming from outside? No?
No.
Wait. C-Film's got more data here. I would say no to all of those so far. 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3. I'd say no to because they all require shift keys to get all of those. Variable name can only contain alphanumeric characters. Here, let me bring this up so everybody can see what I'm looking at. So 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3 I have problems with because they all require a shifted character, which is harder to hit.
And the other thing is that you're going to have to reference this this is presumably in every usage of it, rather than the comparative complexity of declaring sort of as double, as int, and various things like that, which, although they're more keys, and sometimes they can be inferred from other places, they're only there in the declaration, whereas this would require these alterations to be in every usage.
I don't understand why a variable can't end with an underscore yet. I have a feeling you're going to explain that 1.5 at some point. A variable name can only contain alphanumeric characters and underscores. Yeah, I don't get 1.5 why it can't end with an underscore. There may be some value there that you're about to explain to me. Okay. The other thing is all right, so anyway, okay, I got that so far, C-Films. Keep going. Okay, back over here to the code. I've got something that says back to the code.
Back to the code!
Indeed.
Okay, sorry about that. I had an issue with my mic, and it looks like it's fixed. And how's my volume? It seems like my volume might be a little low.
It's good over Skype. Let's hear this
Check,
stream
check,
and see
check,
what's
check.
going
I'm
on.
turning it up, turning it up just a little bit, right there. We'll see what happens. Okay, saving
That
throw
seems more on
threshold
par,
is set.
actually.
This we need to set this up here. We need to know what the ability is that we are saving against. And I think that comes in here. Let's add that. Let's use CodeRush to add that parameter. Okay. We can now get rid of this since we killed the running app. I think I just dropped something on someone. Hold on. I want to copy something. I want to get back over to back to the code again. So
Back to the code!
It's missing the 3D dice layer.
Oh, okay.
And so I just pasted it back in there. What's happening is it's causing a reset there because it wasn't on there. Okay. This we got to figure out here. The in-game creature, the saving throw ability, that's going to determine what the modifier is.
Yep.
We don't need to know the threshold because it's already set there. It's going to be set automatically for us. This may be all we need is this piece right here. I think I want to write this during edit with edit and continue. That's what I want to do. And yeah, let's start it up and we'll at least get that part right. We still have to send it out. Let's kind of create some, we need to send the, let's see, execute /send the die roll.
C-Films is asking, should he drop the use of underscore character in variable names?
I don't think so.
I like the possibility that people will use it. I personally don't. I have no problem reading it. I just don't tend to write code that way. But I've no problem reading it if somebody else does.
I use it in event handlers.
That's good, yes. Hadn't thought of that.
Like this.
Hmm.
That's where I use it. Because I think that's
Actually,
default.
I've been known to use, I've just realized, in tests as well. So I sort of break my sentence structure down using that. So,
But I don't use it anywhere else.
yeah, I don't use it a lot, like in actual variables and stuff like that. Member names or method names, certainly, yeah, that can be of use. But I think it's one of these judgment calls. You know, it's one of those things. I don't think unless you use it too prolifically, too much, it doesn't really get in the way of understanding the code. And there are those who certainly see it as a, you know, breaks things up nicely and makes things a little easier to read in some cases. So, you know.
Check it out. So I've been looking up to Coding Gorilla every day of my life. But check it out. Coding Gorilla is like looks up to me in something. That's awesome news. I'm going to be like, oh, yeah. I'm going to have a party when you leave today, Roy.
Yeah.
I feel like it's close to the time for you that you need to go soon.
It does feel a little bit like that, yeah. I've been thinking that. So since we're on the topic, That probably is a good idea.
Okay, buddy.
I will catch you tomorrow.
All right, Smoothie's out
Same
there, by the
time.
way. See you.
Hey, Smoothie.
See you, Roy.
Bye,
Hi,
Smoothie.
Smoothie. All right, Roy. We'll see you later, buddy.
Will do, bud. Bye-bye.
Bye. C-Films is now asking, with my variable idea, wait, I can't party? Were you able to party before, Jetson? Hold on. Give me a second. I want to explore that. So why you can't party? You could have party before. Something is going wrong. Dropbox. App data. Mr. Announcer bot. Oh, it got killed again. While we're running. So somehow all viewers is getting hosed while we are running. I need to investigate that. I'll recover this for tomorrow's stream. We're gonna have to figure this out. Why is it getting hosed? Sorry about that, Jetsam. But I've got a backup, so we'll go to the backup, recover it. All right, so let's go back. We said with my verbal idea, what do you think? Num is equal to 1 plus 3. Yeah, it's okay. It's the pound sign I don't like for my declarations. I have to only use it once and not ever reference it. Yeah, it's less painful. Yeah, I'll say it's less painful. I just don't like the shift keys. String variables do not do math. I thought I was penalized for going on vacation. You are not penalized. It's a bug and I got to hunt it down and find it. I feel like it's only just started happening, so it's like a state-related problem, it feels like. Oh, Swoopy uses underscores in private variables. Oops, I shot that one down too fast. Right there. Yeah, I've done that before as well, and then I stopped doing it, and I like not doing it. It's just fewer keystrokes to hit. Okay, we're running. I think it's time to test it. So let's double check that our showing only enemies. Let's target only the enemies. So we've just targeted them. And let's cast Thunderstep. That's a Constitution saving throw, I think. Yep. Roll the damage. Okay, so now we're going to add a saving throw here. We've got an in-game creature. Here's the deal. In-game creature's got a kind. We want to go to all monsters, and we want to get that kind. Get by kind, and we want to pass in the creature kind. Just being aware of all the dice spinning around you so you can see the code. So we want to do that. We'll say, we'll call it creature, like this. And then we want to say, if not null, well, at least we're getting somewhere. Let's set a breakpoint here and see what we get. Good. Okay, so we found the creature. What is it? It's a frost giant. Okay, so we're taking Kashmir out, the first one right here. So next we need to see what its saving throw data is like. Saving, okay. These are its mods. We need to pick the right mod based on the saving throw ability. So we want something that says like get saving. What's get ability modifier? Is that's not the same thing as a saving throw ability modifier, I'm pretty sure. Let's add a watch for this right here. What is it? Is it Control-Alt-W? Is that what it is? I forget what it is. Debug, Windows. Wait. Thought I could select something, right click it, add watch. No shortcut. Okay. Okay, cool. It's a 5. And then let's also go into creature and check out its constitution. Saving constitution mod. Is it? It's a 0. So the getting ability modifier is here, but the saving throw is 0 on it, the Frost Giant. Okay, well, with your variable idea, your num is still a string, which means num is equal to the quote 1 plus 3. Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm with you. Okay, let's go check out what the Frost Giant. Let's look up the Frost Giant. So let's jump up to D&D and Beyond. We'll just look up Frost Giant. Guess we have to come up with D&D. That's the mod. Saving throw, Constitution +8. We should have seen a +8. Why didn't we see a +8? Monsters. Frost Giant. Con +8. Saving throws. Maybe we're not parsing the saving throw data. We might have to do that. We're looking for con +8. Okay, so that should definitely have been a +8 there. Let's see if we're parsing that. We're not even using it. Holy cow. Okay. Okay, so let's use it somewhere. Set abilities from. We need to do something. We need a breakpoint in here. I guess we're going to continue and run. What's my problem? That is not what I want. I want to get saving throw modifier. And that's what I want it to be. Let's declare this real quickly. I know I've got that breakpoint. We're going to hit that breakpoint in a second. I'm going to set a breakpoint here as well. What's on my clipboard? Saving throws. Yeah, I want to come back and get that. Let's come in here first, though. Create a switch statement. Hey, look who's here!
Michael Jolly is in the house.
Cover the dice right up there. You're gonna look out. Oh, Michael Jolly, also known as Bald Bearded Builder. Are you feeling better, buddy? I got all worried from your tweet the other day. C-Films is inventing a new programming language here in the chat room. C-Films is asking, with my variable idea, what do you think will happen with num is equal to hello? Well, hello's got to be a variable somewhere for that to work. Otherwise, you'd get a compiler error, I suppose. Oh, good. Better. Bald Bearded Builder is doing better. Yeah, I should probably have shown this too, right there. Hey, Bald Bearded Builder, tonight we got a show. Dragon Humpers, man. If you can make it, love to see you. If you know, it's not a stretch of your, of your psyche, because you're a great contributor. Love it when you're there. Okay. Smooth says, yes, he is. We made him sniff the... Oh, geez. Stop doing that. That's the one thing I don't like about that show. The Bald Bearded Builder show. I don't like that. It is not okay with me. If you're just joining us, we're working on saving throws. That's what we're doing. And we're implementing the Dungeons and Dragons logic here. Let's see, ability strength. We're going to say return saving strength mod. Like that. And we're going to come down here. We're going to say return saving dexterity mod. Like that. What's going on? Why aren't we... Are these doubles? They're doubles. Okay. All right, am I in trouble? Because I don't think I've stepped through the code yet. I think I can change it. We keep going down here. Return saving constitution mod. Come down here. Return saving intelligence mod. You don't need to mail me one. No. Do you know that Karen Mangicotti has a strict rule? She says, no candles that smell like food in the bedroom. And I know that, which to me, I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't care. I don't care if like there's, something that smells like, an enchilada or something like that in the bedroom. But she's like, or bacon. But she says, absolutely not. No way. No, no, and no. And so I think if she says no to that, she's also going to say no candles that smell like digested food either. So no, Bald Bearded Builder. No, thank you. Am I starting to understand your variables? I think I got it, C Films. I think I am understanding them. I don't like food candles in general either, especially vanilla. I can run with vanilla. I autism says once I like something, I can do it again and again and again and again. Not in the bedroom. You can make it everywhere else. No, look, I live in Costa Rica. You don't want to ship me anything. All right, so we're going to do wisdom, saving wisdom mod, actually. And then finally, we're going to return a charisma, saving charisma mod. And then a big fat return 0 at the end. I think that's the code we need there. Decided on the clipboard because we need to transfer this over. We're not dealing with this yet. So there's our get saving throw modifier. That's looking better. We're expecting that to get to an 8 for the frost giant that we're targeting up there. Oh, double. Okay. And just to confirm where that's coming back, this should be a 0 right now because we got that, what we saw before. And run. And then I'm going to, yeah, we get the method, missing method not found. That can happen if we've seen that before when we modify low-level DLLs. Maybe someone sails up the house with a fax package that looks like it was stranded with Tom Hanks and Castaway. That could work. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's like an import. Do I have a shipping address? Costa Rica. Not really. I have a shipping address in Miami, and Miami forwards it to a place that I can drive to go pick it up. Does my variables make it easier to distinguish between strings and numbers? I don't think so. Not really. Once you pass the declaration and I've got the variable, See, Phil, if I'm understanding your declaration correctly, it does not, because the variables don't require to always start with it, right? In other words, if I say num, I'm typing this in the chat room, because if I say num is equal to 2, later if I want to reference num, the variable, I just reference it like this. I just say num, right? If num equals 2, something like that. Is that right? Or do I have to reference it with the pound sign? Like that. Yeah, sounds shady a little bit. Okay. All right, so now we've started up a new instance of this. I'm going to say initialize player data. That should give us that other breakpoint, so we can start dealing with the data we're not using. Should get out over here. I have to use it. Yeah, I don't, well, yes, it does make it easier to differentiate between strings and numbers. Absolutely. But, you know, I still object because based on the shift keys usage for to identify the variables. Yes, the answer is yes, I have to drive to an undisclosed location. We don't know. You will not be in trouble with the cartels. That's the pleasure of dealing with me. You're almost never in trouble with the cartels. Is my language weakly or strongly typed? Well, I think that's up to you to answer, I feel. I mean, at this point, you could do either. I'm not sure if you're asking me, should it be that, or if you're asking me, do I understand which one it is? It feels like you're leaning towards strongly typed. But you could go either way. Okay. So now I need to do something else in here. I need to say, hey, monster.set saving throw mods from the monster DTO. Maybe just the monster saving throws, like that. So that's what we're going to do. Declare that there, set a breakpoint in there, see what we're getting in here. This may be nothing to start with for this first one. Oh, we got something. Okay, so it's comma delimited, so we want to split that. Whoops. Split it. Comma. Like that. Let's declare a variable for that. So I need a semicolon to, oops. It's not at all what key I wanted to hit. Semicolon. Declare it right there. We're going to call it that. Then we're going to go through each one. Call it the save mod. Here's my save mod. Let's jump down into here. So now we've got a con plus 6, and I think we're going to do this dot trim. Open paren dot, this is a CodeRush feature, dot right here pulls me outside. Then I'm going to split this by spaces, like that. And let's declare a variable there. This is going to be our parts, we'll call this. Mark, my 4-year-old is sitting here watching Fred. Could you have him wave at us? Oh yeah, I can. You can have him wave too, I think. Oh, you know what? I can't wave because I'm at a breakpoint here. Let's do this. Since your 4-year-old is way more important than I am, let's run it. We're going to come back to that code. There's the wave. It wasn't working because we were at the breakpoint in the app. That's what was happening there. Okay, so we can wave with these. I've got a set of buttons here. Let me show you what I'm looking at. Okay. Now you might want to shield your kid's eyes, Bald Bearded Builder. There may be a hand signal here that you can make Fred do on this buttons I'm going to show that you may not want your child to look at. I'm going to try and get it off screen as fast as I can. Ooh, there we go. Okay, so we'll just look at these right down here. Don't look at any of these. But these are the different buttons that this is the Stream Deck that I've got. So I can press these different buttons here to make Fred do different things. Isn't that right, Fred? And I'll click this one. And Fred will be like, I don't know. And that sort of thing. So anyway, that's it. Let's go back. Should we go back to the code, Fred? Oops, I hit the button twice. Always better. Got any plans for this weekend, Fred? Yeah, the images on the Stream Deck show the action. Yeah, my Stream Deck is loaded with, this thing is densely packed with stuff to make this easier for the Dungeon Master to control the game. For example, selecting spells, go to Miles, for example. Click down here on spells. Go to like, what do we got here? Ice Knife. Choose the spell slot level and then cast it, right? So it just takes you through the UI with pictures. It's pretty cool. Same thing with the weapons as well. When you choose your weapon, whatever it is there, it's actually really nice. It's working out pretty nicely. Also, oh, money. Your 4-year-old might like the money drop. I'll show you a couple of things in here. Let's do the money drop. So drop 25 gold on me. Like that. There's the gold drop right there. We can take money away. That goes up to the Dungeon Master. Like that. Right up there where the Dungeon Master normally sits. We can also change health, do damage. This is kind of fun. Maybe a little graphic. 44 damage. Oh, that was bad. Fred defends himself, but I can also come in and add health. Get away. Get away. Yeah, cool effect. It spins around. I can also add temp hit points as well. Like, give me 2 temp hit points right there. And what else is fun on here? I think there's something else I want to show. Oh, the die rolling. Click here to roll the dice. Select the number, punch in how many dice. Let's say we want to roll 20. I'm just typing in 20. And we'll say D12s. And then I'll choose the damage type, like necrotic. And we got 20 D12s showing up out there. That's the die engine. It's necrotic damage. One more fun thing we'll do here real quickly. Let's do 12 D10s. And we'll do force damage. So the dice have different effects. That's kind of cool. Okay. Superiority dice. Let's do one more. Those are fun. 8 D8 superiority. See how fast it is to roll those dice, right? It's just 1, 2, 3 in terms of hitting those buttons and getting them out real quickly. Okay. Let's reinitialize data, get to that breakpoint. Oh, I got to set the breakpoint. I cleared it. We're down in here. Setting the saving throw parts. And actually what I should do is clear all the dice before we do it, so you're not looking at all that dice, those dice effects while we are writing the code. Oh shoot, we're at the breakpoint. Let's run past it. Clear the dice. Clear the scroll, drop the scroll down. Set the breakpoint one more time, re-trigger. Okay, so we're gonna get down to here, we're expecting. Now this will get us the 2 different parts. We've got con and mod, and now I think we want to do a switch statement on parts of 0. And so it's going to be con is one of the options here. Int for intelligence. Oops. Wisdom. Dexterity. There's 6 of these. Charisma. Charisma's probably CHA. Constitution, intelligence, wisdom, charisma, dexterity, strength is the last one I'm missing. Let's just double check that against the what's in the sheets. Dex, con, wisdom, charisma, int for intelligence. Yeah, looks good. Okay, so for each one of these, then we are going to need to save the right value in here. We also need to get the value. So let's get the value first. I think it's going to be we're expecting it to be an int. So we'll call this, but is this a double? I think this may be a double. It's a double. So we're gonna parse it as a double is what we'll do. So TD double value is equal to, no, let's do a if TD dot try parse. We're gonna pass in parts of 1 and out double value. My language variables change throughout the file, like a var in JavaScript. I'm going to say loosely typed. If that's the case, if it's not the case, then maybe we're going to continue. We've got bad data in here. I don't know if we should throw out, if I should throw an exception here or not. Let's do this. At the very least, we're going to say system diagnostics debugger break. So I'm missing a paren. Okay, and then down here we've got value, and so we're going to say our saving constitution mod is equal to value. And this one's going to be our saving intelligence mod is equal to value. And this one is going to be our, oh, look at this. Coders can help me. Watch this. I'm going to need to paste this and replace just the word constitution every time. So I'm going to Control Alt Enter here. That marks it. Then I'm going to select the whole thing, copy it to the clipboard. Now I can get rid of it, and then I can paste it. And look what happens. Now I can type in wisdom, like this. Enter, come down here, paste it, type in dexterity, come down here, paste it, type in charisma. Isn't that cool? It's very helpful in this kind of situation, right? For saving me having to move the caret around. Okay, so we're expecting to land in these points here. So let's do that. I also want to see, are there any of these that just have 1? Azer has 1. I want to make sure the split works there. I think it is. I'm pretty sure it's going to work. I think also I need something here. If parts.length is not equal to 2, then we're going to do the same thing. System diagnostics debugger break, followed by continue. So there's our con mod. Coming in at whatever its value is. Wait, the value is 6. Sweet. Is that the first one? Saving throws. Yep, first one is 6. Next one should be 8 intelligence. There it is. Right there. Clear that breakpoint. Next one's wisdom at 6. There it is. Okay. Clear this. Ooh, what do we got? Save mod is empty. Saving throw is empty. Well, let's get out of here early. That. Let's come back up here. Run it. All right, there's a dex mod of 7. So the first dexterity mod, yeah, there it is right there. There's the 7. Charisma mod is 8. There's my 8, my charisma. Good. And strength. The first strength mod is 14. There it is right there. Which means looks like we also already passed this one. So I'm going to assume that worked. Azer. I think we can actually check. Let's step out of here. Monsters go up 2, so it's 35. Is that right? Is that Azer? The kind is baboon. Nope, we want to go up one more. 34. Azer. And we're looking for saving Constitution mod is 4, which maps up. So it works as well if there are no comments on it. So good. Okay, good. Let's continue to run it. That code all feels good to me. All right, good. Let's get our monsters. Let's show our enemies. Let's target the enemies. We are properly initialized. Let's cast a spell. Throw Chaos Bolt.
That is a hit.
Good, it's a hit. Oh shoot, that's not the test I want to do. I need a test that does a that requires a saving throw. Thunderstep. Constitution, let's do it. Okay, add saving throw 4. So now we're expecting this. If the saving throw ability is Constitution, and this is the Frost Giant, we're expecting this to come back, the modifier to be an 8. It is. That's really good news. Good. Okay. Frost Giant 8, that now data is coming back. Let's clear this breakpoint. All right, so we've got the modifier. I think we're going to just simply come in here and we're going to say, okay, look, die string plus equals. Now let's do this. Let's call add die string. And the die string we're going to add, we need to also see if we have advantage or disadvantage. How does that stored in the monster? How does that just... That's not the same thing. This is describing a different kind of thing. I wonder if monsters just don't have advantage or disadvantage on a saving throw. Because if I was going to put it anywhere, I'd put it in the saving throws column right down here. And I'm not seeing it. I'm going to say that, I think we don't have to worry about it. Okay, so I don't have to worry about that. So that means my die string is just going to be a 1d20. It is going to have the name of this in-game creature as its type. So that'll be the label of the die. So as it rolls down, we'll see that. Let's do a close. And we're going to throw it against the modifier. Is going to come down in here.
Janisku 7, where are you? We need your help.
Rescue 7, just in time. Get these bubbles out of my face. Hey, I'm trying to do a show here, kid. What's going on, Jet Rescue 7?
Right now.
What's that over there? It's a mess. Okay. So I think that's the die string we're going to send. So now let's create this method. And now I want to say if diester equals null, then we're going to just say diester is equal to let's change this here. Let's do this. If oops. We're going to say diester is equal to star. Like that. So the next thing I think about is how should my Boolean operators be written? Okay, tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what you're thinking, C-Films. Okay, diester is equal to die string right there. Otherwise, we're going to say diester equals I think like that. That's what we're going to do. All right, so here we go. We're going down in here. That's the 1d20 for Kashmir. We should get a second one. We found some. There's, I think there's another targeted creature. Let's set a breakpoint here and here. Here's our second targeted creature. And so, there we go. So my diester, what? Yeah, I was saying I might need to put advantage in or disadvantage, but I don't think I do on saving throws. Or do I? It just occurred to me there's a ability to mod. Got these Vantage mods for a die roll type. Before player rolls dice. That's for the, wait, where's Vantage mods declared? It's in creature. I think it can have advantage, and it can be given to it by a spell, for example. Like you might have a disadvantage or something like that. So we need to actually get those advantages or disadvantages. This needs to be extracted into its own method here. Boolean operators are and or not. I like it. No shift keys there. I'm good. Okay, here to there, I want to extract this. Why did it make these parameters refs? Those are not right. All right, let's come down here. We're going to say we're going to call get vantage. What's going on with dice roll? What are we using of dice roll? We're using the type and whether it's a skill check or not, saving throw. I'm not sure if I want to decompose this parameter or not. Because I'm also not sure if I want to create a dice roll for this. I need 3 things inside of it. Yeah, I'm fine with that. It also makes it easier to type. It's easier to type in and than A-N-D than it is to hold the shift key down and do 2 ampersands. I think I'm going to decompose parameter here. Let's reorder parameters. I want this one first. My vantage count. What's going on with this? I gotcha. This, I should have selected all of this to put it in there. Getting close here. Let's do one other thing. I wanted to actually return it rather than being a ref parameter. What's wrong here? Oh, it's not. Does it return it? Okay, this is the implementation of the rules, which is basically just saying if I have multiple spell effects that give advantage, they're counted as 1, and if I have multiples that give disadvantage, those are counted as 1, and if I have a combination of both of those, then it's just a normal die roll. And then we're going to return normal down here. Okay. Is there a return in here? What's my problem? Why is this not all code paths? I mean, this is... Oh, you know what? I bet it's just keep waiting for it to catch up. Okay, so now we've got get vantage here. This should be public, and it should be actually in editing team might have problems with what I'm about to do. It should be in creature. It might be able to get through it. Also, oh, this is going to be messy. I got to pull these down too. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to pull it down. I'm gonna shut down the app. Not all code paths return a value. I'm not seeing a return in here. Oh, is it because of this? I see. Hold on. All of this needs to be outside the for loop, I think. Is that right? Yeah, that looks like that code was buggy. It was just in the wrong spot. That looks correct now. Okay. Let's figure this out. Move this in. Okay, so it's just this needs to come down. And this needs to go down. I think that's it. So far, what language is my new language idea like or similar to? I don't know. So far, it feels like a kind of like a learning programming language, a language to learn programming. So a little bit like, I think there was something called Turtle a while back, but or maybe that I'm confusing the name of that with what its examples were. But you had a turtle you could move around. It's kind of what it feels like so far. Hard to tell with just a variable declaration, right? Should I only let the Boolean operators be lowercase? Yes. No. Definitely not uppercase. No. Only lowercase. All right, what am I doing? Run. And I didn't actually finish what I needed to do. I needed here. I needed to fix this to determine the advantage or disadvantage. That's what I needed to do. Okay. Oops. I want to target that guy. I want to target Kashmir and this guy, but not that guy. Okay. Fireball. Okay, I've got a breakpoint here. So we're going to clean up some of this with the test close. So we got the creature. Now we can make that call creature dot get vantage and saving throw. Ability dot, it's already here as a variable, sorry, saving throw ability. Skill check is skills.none. We're not doing anything here. Whoops. And the vantage kind, this is the initial vantage that we're bringing in, and that's normal. You know what, I want to, I'm going to kill this a second because I want to set some defaults here to make this easier. Skill check is equal to skills.none. Vantage kind is equal to vantage kind dot normal. Initial vantage is what I'll call that. Okay, let's run it again. So you like my Boolean style, but not my way to declare variables. I cannot please everyone and everything, but you do like something so far about my new language idea. Well, I tell you, the thing I like the most about C-Films is that you're passionate about it and you want to do it, right? That even in the face of me saying, well, I don't like this part or this part, you're continuing to push. I love that. That is like, means that it's likely to come out super interesting. All right, I'm initializing player data, right? The more you work, and also by asking other people for your feedback, right? I think in general, the more likely you're going to get something that is significant. Okay. Fireball again. Clear the dice. I was expecting us to get to a break point. Do the saving throws. Should be a dexterity saving throw. Why didn't we get to a break point? Did we... Break point here. Not sure why we didn't get that. Less than or greater than signs in your new language. Okay. Let's try casting again, see what's going on. Okay, we're here. Got a spell. You didn't get here the first time, though, it seems. Oh, we don't have any targeted creatures. That's why. Even though they show that they're targeted, because I restarted, they're not actually targeted. Okay, one more time. That's what was going on. Okay, one more time. Let's do tidal wave. Better. NQ spell saving throw. We should get all the way down into here. Okay. And then keep running. Okay, we're now into add saving throw for. What's the call stack? Where are they? I'm confused as to. Okay. I see. All right, got it. Okay. We're not actually. So this, I wanted to just take this down to this right here, so it looks better. We'll call that, and let's see what that is. That's probably going to come back with nothing, just normal. Let's create a string here that's going to be our vantage string. Like that. Set that equal to string.empty. And then do a switch statement on Vantage. And then we're going to come in here and say Vantage str is equal to Advantage. Maybe even throw the comma in there as well. This one's going to be disadvantage. And then we're going to just pop that in right after the modifier. Yeah, so that's what that's going to look like. Okay, so add dice string. Clear these breakpoints here and here. And so dice string is now, yeah, nobody's got advantage or disadvantage. Okay. We'll get the saving throw threshold. It's 15. Player ID is there. Now we're going to say action Q in Q, the die roll. All right, that's feeling like it's right to me. And now we have to implement this. So now we've queued it up and we're immediately dequeuing it. And this is where I think it's not going to work. And I think what we're going to do is we'll take a break and we'll finish this up tomorrow. Is that what I want to do? I think I'll do that. I'll finish up tomorrow. I may actually come back on later today. We'll see and finish this up. But we're at, I think, a good breaking point, at least for this show right here. We need to, the next change will be down in TypeScript to make this work if it doesn't already. And I don't think it does. There's some changes here I think we'll have to make in the die roller to make it roll the dice. Then we'll get the results of the dice and then we'll apply damage. So we need to do roll the dice, and then we're going to say another to do apply the damage after the dice have rolled. Like that. A new language plus is add. Star is multiple. S is subtract. Slash is division. All right. What are the advantages, C-Films? I'm not sure we'll have time to get to this answer today, but I'm curious to know what the advantages are, that you see them, what your goal is with the new language, because there's lots of scripting options out there that you can kind of get what you want right now. So I'm looking for what you are hoping to gain. Okay, we're not gonna roll the dice now. I'm gonna run it. Let's go find who we are out there following, who's streaming right now. Give me a second. I'm just coming up with an idea. I might not develop a language. Okay. Raid. Let's start the bald-bearded builder. Say hi to Michael, kids. I'm going to get some food. And we will see you tomorrow. Maybe later today. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.